Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm taking these recycled items, some bottle caps, and some shredded paper, and I am turning them into this and this and this and this and this. If you want to find out how, keep watching. This week's video is a part of a challenge called Small Creators Sunday. It's hosted on a monthly basis by Broco Aesthetic. This month, the co-host is Freckled Mom. The links to the playlist and both of their channels will be below. I'm starting with a tab from a soup can, a few water bottle caps, a cap from a gallon of water, an orange juice cap, and a pill bottle cap. And the first step is to just drill a hole through the middle of each cap. Most caps will have a little indentation in the middle of them that you can use as a guide for this step. And then once you're done drilling the holes, you want to drill them so that you can attach a little piece of a wooden dowel to the back end so that it can act as the handle and put a little space between the drawer. So I've cut this one wooden dowel that I already had on hand into 1-inch sections so that I would have enough for each, a little piece for each knob. Once you have your wooden dowel cut, you want to drill a hole into both ends of each piece. One end to connect to the bottle cap and the other end to attach the knobs to the drawer. Now you want to take a screwdriver and I'm using a 3/4 inch screws to attach each cap to the piece of wooden dowel. And then for the tab from the soup can, I actually had to use a washer because it already had a big hole at the top, so I used a washer to keep the screw in. For the rest of the caps, you can just attach the screw directly through the cap and into the wooden dowel to make your knobs. So this is what each one is basically going to look like. You're going to repeat that for all of your knobs. This is what you will have when you're done. And then you're going to want to start decorating them, painting them. For the first one, I just added glue to the top in just a random pattern, to be honest. But when I finished, it kind of looked like a rose pattern, so I did decide to spray paint it pink, and this is what it came out looking like. For the second one, I'm using jute twine, and I believe this was the bottle cap that came off of my gallon of water, so it was a little bit bigger than the water bottle caps. And I started by cutting slits into the cap, and this just gives the twine something to grip onto after I tied the twine to the base. And then I just continued to wrap it around, and then I'll show you in a minute what it looks like when you're done. I decided to spray paint 2 of the water bottle caps in a gold spray paint. And if you guys notice any of these stains on the dresser, it's actually the natural wood knots showing through, because when I did the DIY on this dresser, I didn't use a primer. So I promise it's not dirty, please don't judge me. These 2 are the pill bottle cap and the soup can tab, and I spray painted those with a antique pewter spray paint, and this is what that looks like. For this pill bottle cap, I was originally going to leave some of that silver on the cap showing, but I just really couldn't figure it out, honestly, when I got to that stage. But I did cut slits in this again for the twine to grip onto, and wrapped it in the same way as the first one. And the pewter finish, that antique pewter, just stayed on the wooden dowel part. The last cap was this water bottle cap that I decided to spray in a stone finish spray paint that I got on clearance for $2. I decided to model it on this wooden background because I think it would look really nice, maybe like a boho style a little bit, or modern I guess, against a wooden dresser or a dark stain dresser. Now is where things got interesting. With the shredded paper, I decided to make paper mache clay, is what they're calling it these days. I have not done paper mache since kindergarten, but the first step is to just soak it overnight in water, and then the next day you're going to tear it apart. It helps to start with shredded paper because in the end you want it to be as crumbled as possible. So you're going to tear it, and then once you're done tearing it as much as you can, you want to add it to your blender, and be sure to add extra water along with the wet paper so that you don't mess up your blender. I was inspired to do this project by McKenna XO. She made some really pretty paper mache beads, and that's what made me want to do this because I already had the shredded paper. And next you're going to strain it once it's out of the blender and you have a good consistency. I found that straining it with a cloth was easiest. You're going to want to make sure to try to get out as much water as possible before you start adding the other ingredients. I added only one container of this lightweight spackling from the Dollar Tree and one container of regular white school glue, which I already had on hand. Also keep in mind, if you're going to try this project, that it is going to take quite a while to dry. Out of all the videos that I watched on how to make paper mache clay, I don't feel like anybody really said how long it took to dry. And I'm here to inform you that it literally could take days. But when you're mixing, you want to mix until you have something similar to clay, basically something that you can mold into a shape something that will hold shape. And then I'm using these nuts and bolts to create a knob. So I'm just rolling it first and then inserting the bolt into that, and that's gonna dry as a knob. With the leftovers, I decided to make a pencil holder using this plastic cup as a mold. Anything you use as a mold, you want to coat in some sort of oil first. I use coconut oil. This unfortunately is not dry in time for the video, but if you want to see how it turned out, be sure to follow my Instagram link below. I'll post a picture there when it's dry. This is my drying mat, where I left everything for days to dry. And I ended up molding some of it using these silicone molds. Ultimately, when I was done, I actually ended up making the knobs using the silicone molds, and this is what that looks like. I painted it with this green chalk paint that I had, and then this is what it looked like when it was done. I also thought it would look really nice against a raw wood, so I tried to show that here, but it would look even better against like a raw pine dresser. Please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe because it makes my entire whole day when you do that. And be sure to check out the playlist below to support more small but mighty creators like myself. And the water is getting to be really foggy and gross now, so we don't want that. Nope, 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 nope. And this is my mama's mixing bowl, y'all, so. I'm sorry, Mom, when you see this video. I'm gonna clean it up. If you have seen some of my other videos, you probably already know that I make stuff up as I go along, so